We spent weeks engineering the perfect custom PCB and writing flawless C++ firmware, but we could completely ruin it by cramming it into a bulky, generic project box held together by hot glue. If you want to build hardware that actually looks and feels like a professional product, you have to design the plastic around the electronics. Today, we are using a PCBA-driven workflow to build a custom, tool-free, snap-fit 3D printed enclosure that literally shrink wraps around our board. And the best part, you don't have to start from scratch. I am giving away all the FreeCAD source files, the print-ready STLs, and the parametric spreadsheet completely for free. I've also put together a massive step-by-step written guide on my website covering every single detail of this build, so you can follow along at your own pace. But really quickly guys, I need to ask a massive favor. If you get value out of this deep dive engineering series, please hit that like button and subscribe. Educational hardware channels survive entirely on your support. It seriously means the world to me. I personally read every single comment, and I promise you, I will listen to your feedback and incorporate your ideas into my future builds. Okay, let's build some armor. Welcome to the third and final installment of the Modular Soil Scout series. In part 1, we engineered our wire-free panelized electronics. In part 2, we wrote bulletproof ESP32 firmware. If you missed them, check the links in the description. Today, we bridge the gap between electronics and plastics. Many beginners design a 3D printed box first and then try to cram their electronics inside. Instead, we use a professional PCBA-driven workflow. The printed circuit board dictates the plastic, not the other way around. I exported the fully assembled PCB stack from KiCad as TEP files and imported them into FreeCAD. We are building our plastic armor around the digital twin of our electronics. An important tip: never hard code your dimensions. When you 3D print prototypes, you will constantly need to adjust tolerances by fractions of a millimeter. If you hard code a dimension, changing it later will break your entire model. Instead, use a parametric spreadsheet. Define your critical dimensions as variables. Now, when sketching, you just type your variable name. If your 3D printer is over-extruding, you just change the spreadsheet value, and your entire 3D model instantly adapts flawlessly. Let's design the bottom sensor spike. Because this is a capacitive moisture sensor, tolerance is everything. If there is a massive air gap between the copper of your PCB and the outer plastic wall, your sensor's electrical field will weaken before it even reaches the dirt. We use our parametric spreadsheet to create an incredibly tight tolerance. The plastic wall must physically touch the PCB solder mask to maximize moisture sensitivity. Next is the main enclosure. We sketch a circular cup and pad it up. But notice this specific keyhole slot at the bottom? When you shove a 150mm spike into dry dirt, the mechanical twisting force is immense. Because our PCB has an asymmetrical 8 o'clock notch, this keyhole physically locks the motherboard into place, protecting the fragile electronics from snapping. To make this completely tool-free, we pad a 10mm collar at the top and apply an additive helix with a 4.67mm pitch to generate smooth male threading. Right below that, we carve out a 0.85mm channel. This is our gasket clearance, guaranteeing a watertight seal against the rain. Throw on 3 staking flanges at the bottom for tent pegs, and the main chassis is done. Now, before we design the internal battery sled, we have to talk about a massive flaw in home 3D printing. Even with 100% infill, FDM layer lines will eventually leak water. Later in the video, I'm going to show you a crazy chemical hack using primer and clear acrylic spray to perfectly seal our home prints. But if you want to skip the messy chemicals and get a true commercial grade 100% watertight enclosure right out of the box, you need the sponsor of this video, PCBWay. By using their industrial SLA resin or MJF 3D printing services, the plastic is fused perfectly, meaning absolutely zero leaky layer lines. You can even use them to solve our gasket problem by having it professionally printed in ultra-flexible TPU. PCBWay isn't just for the custom panelized PCBs we built in part 1, they are a massive one-stop shop for rapid prototyping. Click the link in the description to get an instant quote on your custom 3D parts today. Okay, moving to the screw cap. We match the 4.67mm pitch with a subtractive helix. But here is the important part, the nub. We revolve a tiny sphere on the inside ceiling. When you screw the cap down, this nub physically compresses the internal battery sled, forcing it aggressively against the heavy-duty pogo pins on our motherboard. You can drop this thing, kick it, or hit it with a lawnmower, and the power will never disconnect. But how do we align the batteries? We need an internal skeleton. I call this the hollow rail, and it serves two massive purposes. First, it acts as a physical keyway, completely eliminating the risk of reverse polarity. You can only put the batteries in one way. Second, it is hollowed out. The ESP32's Wi-Fi antenna routes up into this chamber, isolating the fragile RF signal from the giant metal AA batteries, which would normally destroy our Wi-Fi range. Designing a sled for 3X AA batteries usually results in a messy 3D print filled with nightmare support material. So, I split it into 5 distinct parts that print completely flat: a Pac-Man base, a base insert, a 1-up case, a 2-up case, and a sled hat. I actually pulled the base models for these battery cases from a previous tutorial I made on 3D printing custom battery packs. I'll leave a link to that video in the description. But to make them work for the TerraBlade, I modified them. I added precise routing slots so we can thread 8x15mm pure nickel strips straight through the solid plastic walls, wiring all 3 batteries in series directly down to our M3 terminal screws. The CAD is done. Now we print, but do not use PLA filament. PLA will deform and melt in the summer sun. ABS is durable, but releases toxic styrene gas and requires a heated enclosure. For outdoor electronics, PETG is the absolute king for hobbyists. It has high heat resistance, excellent UV protection, and amazing layer adhesion for waterproofing. Let's assemble this beast. Before we put it in the plastic, you should apply a high-quality silicone conformal coating to the PCB stack. This locks out ambient condensation from shorting the board. Keep it off the pogo pins and USB port. To build the sled, we screw the M3 terminals into the base, mount the insert, and permanently weld the battery cases on top using UV resin and a UV flashlight. It cures in 3 seconds. We route our nickel strips, insert the keystone contacts, and lock the metal in place with more resin. Pop in 3 AA batteries, and a multimeter check proves we have perfect series voltage. Wrap it in Kapton tape, and the power plant is complete. To keep water out of our screw threads, I printed a razor-thin stencil and used an X-Acto knife to cut a flawless O-ring out of a 1mm rubber sheet. You can also just print this gasket directly if you have flexible TPU filament. Final assembly time. Slide the hollow rail into the chassis. UV resin the sensor spike into the bottom pocket. Slide on your rubber gasket, drop in the battery sled, pop the hat on, and screw the cap down tight. But wait, if you put this outside right now, your electronics will die. FDM 3D prints are not naturally watertight. Even at 100% infill, capillary action will actively pull water through the microscopic layer lines over time. To fix this, remove the electronics and mask the threads. Spray the outside with a light coat of plastic primer. Once dry, hit it with 2 to 3 heavy coats of clear acrylic spray. The acrylic seeps deep into the layer lines, sealing the microscopic gaps and creating an impenetrable waterproof shell. Drop a 1 gram silica gel packet inside to absorb trapped humidity, and you are done. Look at that. We have successfully taken a chaotic, messy breadboard prototype and transformed it into a professional, DFM-ready, ultra-low power IoT product. By utilizing a PCBA-driven workflow in FreeCAD, relying on parametric tolerances, and understanding the physical limitations of 3D printing, we engineered a completely custom, tool-free, modular enclosure that snaps flawlessly around our board. You can download the complete FreeCAD source files, the ready-to-print STLs, the C++ firmware, and the KiCad Gerber files directly from the GitHub repository linked below. Thank you so much for following along with the Modular Soil Scout series. Let me know in the comments below, what modifications would you make to this chassis to fit your own custom IoT projects? Hit subscribe and I will see you in the next build.